Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And here's the meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. Now this right here, folks, this is basically the left in a frickin' nutshell. You know, the Democrats have perfected the art of double standards and hypocrisy, sitting there pointing the finger, yelling across the aisle, accusing Republicans or grandstanding on some issue while completely ignoring or actively covering up their own catastrophic policy failures on the exact same frickin' issue. I mean, at this point, it's basically the modus operandi. It's the one thing that unites every dishonest piece of crap leftoid. They love lecturing everyone about compassion and democracy, and especially the kids, right? Oh, the kids. But then, of course, when you call them out on their own frickin' shit, when you point out their body count, all of a sudden they start throwing a tantrum. All of a sudden they want to change the subject. They're such incredibly dishonest douchebags. And this right here, this moment with Rosa DeLauro, this is the perfect embodiment of everything wrong with the leftist politician. Boy, did she just get put in her place by Markwayne Mullins. And this actually comes after Lee Zeldin basically ended her career. You know, you think that she would learn her lesson by now, but no, of course not. She's a Democrat. I gotta show you this embarrassing moment. We got some stuff to get into. So let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so just take a look at this moment right over here.
Say a word
Mr. Secretary, do not interrupt.
Don't you point your finger at me. Don't
I
be a
will
hypocrite.
point my finger
Don't you be a hypocrite
you.
then. Then you be as you should be as upset about the 450,000 kids that were lost. You didn't say a word about it. For 4 years, you never said a word.
Mr. Secretary.
Could you put him in his place for
Don't yell at me.
You should
I'm
be
the
put in
good
your
guy.
place.
Mr. Secretary, if you would like 4 minutes for a closing statement when everybody's done, I'll give you that. But while members are on their 8 minutes, I need them to have their 8 minutes.
Mr.
started
Chairman,
my
I
comments.
appreciate that. My issue is that they say this for sound bites, and I'm not going to let them say something
What did
like
you
that
do
that's not
just
true.
recently for sound bites? I sympathize with the 400,000.
We are going to have something resembling order here.
Holy frickin' moly, you know, and again, just your typical Democrat attempting to abuse optics. And no, I'm not making the argument that she's succeeding. I don't think Rosa DeLauro could ever succeed in making someone else look like a moron. No, she always peacocks in that department, literally and figuratively, but it's obvious she's appealing to the same outrage strategy. Why engage on the ideas? Why bother even refuting or addressing the initial claim when you could just wag your finger? Don't you point your finger at me! Just pretend like you're the righteous one scolding the evil Republican, and there you go, you won every frickin' argument. This little tantrum of hers, just peak Democrat entitlement. These people think they can scream, interrupt, and act like toddlers, and that automatically puts the win in the frickin' bag. And really, I think that hits the nail on the head. Acting like frickin' toddlers, that's basically the Democrat Party in essence. But of course, Democrat entitlement and theatrics aside, now getting into the nitty-gritty, the actual details here. This, of course, is where it all falls apart. Wagging the finger, appealing to my kids once again. The kids in cages. Same frickin' bogus hoax argument from back in 2017. But as if that would work in 2026? You're basically teeing your numbskull head to be whacked out of the frickin' stadium. Oh, well, here you go, Markwayne Mullins. Here's a softball pitch right in the center for you to whack me frickin' 500 yards across. I mean, really? The kids? Democrats are gonna push this frickin' hoax when under Joe Biden, just recent and very recent history, they created a far bigger humanitarian disaster, a crisis, record border crossings, overwhelmed facilities, well beyond capacity, basically no vetting, just catch and release. Come on in, people. This shot right over here from the Biden administration, I think, puts it into the clearest of perspective. This is basically a visual metaphor for what the border policy was. Sending forklifts to the border to open it on up. Everybody's welcome. That, of course, implies that, you know, there was good intentions. Of course not. The whole thing was pernicious. The goal was engineering political power, not some humanitarian effort. But of course, under the mantra of compassion, what did they really do? They created a crisis of unaccompanied minors. Yeah, I wonder why the kids were being kept in cages. I wonder why we were seeing separation from the accompanying adult. They call it separation from parents, of course, but In so many of these cases, maybe even close to a majority of the children crossing the border, they're not even with their parents. They're with random adults, gang members, coyotes. And during 4 years of Joe Biden, we saw 450,000 unaccompanied minors just lost in the interior of the country. And what has since been proven is many of these children faced horrific abuse.
Over 3,300 children. You know, last administration, over 500,000 children smuggled in this country, released to unvetted sponsors. They lost track of 300,000 of them. President Trump has already found 145,000 of them. In Minnesota alone, over 3,300 missing children we found that the last administration wasn't even looking for.
Many of these kids were forced into sex trafficking or forced labor, but for some reason, we're counting the 4 years covering the Biden administration, and we covered the daily news cycle every single day for 4 years straight. I think we maybe took 2 days off during that 4-year period, and I don't remember a single Democrat, not a single one, ever mentioning this story. I mean, we were talking about it for years and years, well before the Trump administration came in and actually identified and found many of these kids, in many cases saving them from predatory environments. But for the 4 years when Democrats were in power, not a peep. And now these people want to talk about kids in cages, when it's literally not an issue because the southern border is completely closed. There basically are no border crossings happening. No, of course not. They're waiting for Democrats to win again.
Need to help us out. We need to unite in order to get Trump out. Once he leaves, we will all head north. Why not?
Yeah, basically, Trump's the solution to a humanitarian crisis that put kids in jeopardy. Trump's the solution to a chaotic border crisis, and yet these Democrats have the audacity to say kids in cages. To grandstand as these righteous actors, they're full of frickin' shit. And it applies to every single issue. It's the same pattern with the left. An entire summer of BLM riots, which were mostly peaceful, as dozens of people were killed, yet these people won't shut the frick up about January 6th. They'll keep talking about black life. Oh, life in general, right? Ooh, gun crime and gun violence. Yet they're the same morons pushing defund the police and all these soft on crime policies that are literally getting people killed, not to mention the open border effect, which has led to gangs setting up shop, killing people in violent shootings or other violent extortion schemes, the drug overdose deaths, or the random acts of extreme violence against American citizens from illegal migrants who shouldn't even be in the country. It's issue after issue, always the same frickin' pattern. And really, it's about time we stop appealing to political decorum and start calling out these lying, moronic Democrats on the bullshit they spew. That's exactly what Mark Wayne Mullins did. Good for him. Holy frickin' crap, Rosa DeLauro, once again, is the gift that keeps on giving. Way to set up a trap and then walk directly in it. I guess that's what you get when you elect people with purple hair to power simply because they've got purple hair and they're quirky liberals. Instead of voting for people with, actual substance, character, intelligence. No, why do that when you could vote for a quirky little snowflake? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.